What you're about to watch is a tutorial on how to beat the game without taking any damage. Feel free to use any of the strategies, but listen to the detailed commentary before trying them on your own. Hello everybody.
Resident Evil.
This is a no save no damage run of Resident Evil HD Remaster, getting the best ending with Chris Redfield, on invisible enemy mode, and also on hard difficulty. So invisible enemy mode is, just like the name says, every enemy in the game is invisible, but there are some little things you can watch from the enemies, like when they bleed when you start shooting them, or the reflections on the floor if the floor has water or it's a floor with some kind of reflection. You can also see the reflections on the mirrors, some things like that. And also some other little things, like for example the jaws and the teeth, or the fangs and the saliva from the dogs, for example, or the yawn. But to be honest, the best friend on this game mode will be the sound. And also having a good memory is also very helpful, because you will know the exact position of every zombie on every section and how they can behave depending what you can do on every section as well. So right there, what I'm doing, it's called stair skating. It's only about tap the run button while you're going up or going down the stairs. While you press the up D-pad button, right here, go directly to the hanging bullets, and then stand up behind the statue. When you see the zombie going around the corner, just leap. So in this section, the zombie's on the other side, but once you pick up the broken shotgun, he will change his position. But not right now, so I find out something very helpful for Chris on invisible enemy. Right here, just kill the first zombie and do not touch the second one. Do not even aggro him. Just kill the first one. That's the sound that the zombies make when they're completely dead, and also you can see a little circle of blood on the floor, and that also means they are dead. And in order to not aggro the fat zombie that is on the left, just hug the right wall while you are going to the crypt. Just by doing that, the fat zombie will never aggro, and you don't have to worry about him. And he will disappear after you pick up the last mask. So the shotgun shells will be free to pick up on that section of the game, because right now it's not really necessary to pick up those shotgun shells. I make a lot of runs picking those shotgun shells early, but I figured it out that for invisible enemy and it's not really necessary, because I will use a different strat for the Elder Crimson Head. So it's very helpful to have those 6 shotgun shells. So also the best weapon on this game mode will be the daggers, because with the dagger you will be able to see the exact position of the zombies when you use them, or when you use the daggers. But that will only be useful if you stay on the room, because once you leave the room, the dagger will disappear. To be honest, I will never use that strat. I just pick up the daggers to be careful. Maybe I will get grabbed by a zombie, and a dagger will be very helpful. That's the main reason I pick up the daggers, but there's also a strat to use them in order to know where are the zombies. So right here, kill the zombie. A lot of times you will get lucky and you will decapitate the zombie. Some other times you won't decapitate him. That's completely okay as well. Let's see if I decapitate him. I don't remember. I think I won't. I'm not really sure, but the best thing you can do in order to know if he's getting close to you is to watch the blood. If the blood is getting close to you, that means the zombie is very close to you as well. So I wasn't able to decapitate a zombie, but that's completely fine. The only thing I have to do is to bring up the canteen with kerosene and incinerate that zombie, because that zombie can become a Crimson Head even after you make the piano puzzle. And on that section he can be a problem, a real problem. So right here, when you regain control of Chris, just go around the table and hack this wall. Just by doing that, you will avoid the zombie on the floor, and then just go directly to the door. Staircase up and continue. So, invisible enemy mode on hard difficulty, in my opinion, is the hardest challenge you can make on this game, even if you are not making a no damage run. It's the hardest game mode, in my opinion. So right here, use the key on that door, but do not enter. And just by doing that, you will be able to discard the key on this door. And that's very helpful because Chris only has 6 item slots, so the more space you can have, the better. Right here, go to this corner, rotate a little. Do not walk like a walk, because you will be very close to the zombie. And just shoot him 2 times, not 3. Because if you shoot him 3 times, it's possible that he will launch to you. And he can grab you, of course. So I got lucky and I decapitated the zombie. And then I reset the room because there's a zombie going up the stairs and he can be like right here and he can immediately grab me. So the zombies on the stairs, 90% of the time he will be in the stairs and he will vomit always, because zombies on the stairs, they always vomit. But on a very rare occasion, that zombie won't be on the stairs. He will be like below the stairs and he can grab you immediately. But it's like most of the time he will be in the stairs. So right here, equip the hand grenade. I think I forget. Oh no. Well, this is not the best way to deal with this zombie. The best thing to do with that zombie is to use the hand grenade and let him grab you. So just by doing that, he will eliminate that zombie, and that's very helpful because you will have to, or you have to pass through that hallway 3 more times. And as I told you, the zombie on this section, he changed his position because we pick up the broken shotgun. So right here, when you pick up the dagger the first time you visit this hallway, do not go straight anymore after you pick up the dagger. Otherwise, on this time, the second visit, there will be dogs, and you don't want that. So we need a small key for the section of the first dogs. There's a small key on the bathtub. Just go, skip the cutscene, pick up the small key, and do not do that. Just go pick it up and leap, because the zombie is standing up, and if you let him fully stand up, he will grab you, of course. Right here, as long as you are fast and just pick up the chemical and leap, the dogs shouldn't be a problem. They can jump through the fence, but that will only happen if you take more time on that section. So with Chris, if you wonder, it's not possible to pick up the shotgun without the broken shotgun. It's mandatory to bring the broken shotgun, because no one will save you like with Jill. Chris is like a more a lone run, maybe you can call it. He's like alone the whole time, no one helping. Rebecca can help him with the B-jolt on a very specific part if you make some specific things. But I think that's the only help you can get. But anyway, that zombie will always decapitate him, because the first shotgun shell of the game will always decapitate a zombie. Shoutouts to Carcinogen because I learned that from him. But after the first shotgun shell, there's a chance that you will decapitate the zombies. It's not like on the classic you will always decapitate zombies. So right here, if Chris makes that animation like going backwards, afraid, that means that the zombie is on the perfect position to shoot him in the leg. Because on a very rare occasion, that zombie will be like stuck on the left wall, and even if you shoot, you won't be able to hit him. So you have to wait until Chris does that animation. And the way to avoid that zombie right there is always the same, on the way in and on the way out. And right here I shoot the zombie in the leg because I don't know if he's like far left or far right, or maybe in the middle of the hallway, because that's random. He usually is far right, but I cannot see him, so just to be careful. And also, you will 100% of the time disable zombies if you shoot them in the leg. So right here we need to go to the courtyard. The first dogs encounters fight. So keep the shotgun, use the dog whistle and stand up right here. When the dog is in front of you, shoot him and then pump cancel and shoot him again. Then pick up the collar and leave. So there are 3 things you can watch from this dog. But the third one is not always visible. The first one is the jaw, their fangs. The second one is their saliva. And the third one is the shiny color. But maybe you watch it, sometimes you cannot see the color, or you will just barely see it. So the best thing you can wait to watch are the saliva and their jaws. You can even time that section. I never time it, I always wait for the little things I can watch. But I'm pretty sure it's possible to time it. So also I'm playing on simple Chinese language because it's the fastest scroll text that you can use on this game. Japanese and simple Chinese are the fastest one. Simple Chinese is a little faster, like second faster, like 1-2 seconds faster maybe in the whole game. But they are almost like the same. You will see a lot of speedrunners using only the Japanese language because the simple Chinese is not available on all the regions. And also because of timing. A lot of speedrunners are very used to the Japanese timing. But that's about the speedrunning, right? This is not a speedrun, this is a no damage run. So right here you can pick up the blue gem and then continue. So maybe you noticed, but I completely forget to bring the canteen. And I think I realize right now. But I will be able to pick it up because I have to backtrack to the save room where the serum is. Right here I enter because there's a dagger right here, so very helpful, just in case. I try to avoid this room on Real Survivor and on hard difficulty. At least on the last hard difficulty runs I make. So, about movement on this game, use both. Use the D-pad and use the left stick with alternate controls. What the alternate controls is, the only thing it does is that change the left stick movement, and the left stick is not tank control. You can make like crazy 360 spins and very perfect curves, some things like that. So what I recommend is that you use both. Know where to use the D-pad and know where to use the left stick as an alternate control. In most cases it's like use the D-pad always on places or sections that has a lot of camera change, because the left stick works with the cameras, it can troll you very easily. So right here pick up the canteen and pick up the serum. Maybe you wonder that this will fuck up my inventory, but it will not, because after we save Richard we'll get teleported to this place again. So that's a perfect time to leave the canteen. So right here I equip the hand grenade because I know I have to eliminate the zombie from the creation of the game. Best thing you can do. So it's not necessary to wait until the hand grenade explodes, because when you leave the room, the hand grenade will explode, so when you re-enter the zombie's already gone. So in Resident Evil 1 Remake there are 2 new enemies, Lisa and the Crimson Heads. The Crimson Heads is a mutation from the zombies. So every zombie that you don't decapitate and you don't incinerate, with some exceptions of course, they will become Crimson Heads. What I always recommend you is, in order to avoid Crimson Head, just do not create them. That's the best thing you can do. So do not kill the zombies where on the places that you know they can become Crimson Heads. So right there, I don't know why I'm... Oh yeah, because I need to fill up the canteen with kerosene, yeah. That's the main reason I come to this place. So the zombies that came through the windows, they will change their positions, sorry. The first one is right there, and the second one just hack this wall. But first we need to go to the white tiger room, use the blue gem and pick up the shotgun shells. So in Resident Evil 1 Remake, the white tiger only gives you shotgun shells and the ammo disc. And you can only use the blue gem and the yellow gem, not the red one like on the classic. The red one is for another puzzle on the game. So hack this wall. Oh no, sorry, we have to enter the HTAC room. Yeah, I'm drunk, sorry. So examine the closet, one zombie will appear. Equip the shotgun, shoot him in the leg. Then reload the shotgun, because I don't have space to pick up the small key. Just go directly to the small key, pick it up, rotate, aim down, and leap. On a very rare occasion, the second zombie will make like a very weird fall down, like a 180-degree fall down, and it's possible he can grab immediately your feet. But as long as you're fast enough, that shouldn't happen. So I incinerate the zombie right there, and we are good to go. And I apologize if you are hearing like a dog barking in the background. It's the neighbor's dog. Really annoying. So as I told you, you get teleported to this place again. If you choose yes, Rebecca will heal you, but we didn't take damage, so it's not necessary. And just leave the canteen and continue. There's a zombie, so we are good to go on this place. Nothing to worry about. Right now I think I'm gonna go to the crypt and use the first death mask of the game. Yeah, but the zombie's still on the same place, the fat zombie that it's on the shotgun shells, so it's the same, just hack the right wall when you are going to the entrance of the crypt. Just use the mask. So on hard difficulty and invisible enemy, I think this is not mandatory to do. Or is it? I think it's not. It's just about preference. I get confused with Real Survivor. Sorry. But I think it's not mandatory. But anyway, there's a zombie on where Richard was, that it's behind the pillar. Just go around the pillar and it should be fine. Right here, aim up, shoot 2 times. Most of the time he will take you only 1 shot in shells, max 2. Always kill that zombie because he will enter when you light up the candle, and because he's invisible it will be really hard to know where is he. He can easily grab you. Right here, enter to the camera change walking, so by doing that you will be able to rotate and aim correctly. Because if you enter running, it's possible it won't give you enough time to rotate and aim, and maybe he can grab you in the back, like very fast. Because of course an invisible enemy, because you cannot watch the enemies, you don't have auto aim. So we have the music notes and time to go to the piano puzzle. It's not necessary to pick up the wooden shield right now. Just go directly to the piano puzzle. So this works exactly like on the classic. In order to give enough time to Rebecca to practice the song, you just need to go to the main hall and re-enter to the dining room and go to the piano room. Just by doing that, Rebecca will already know how to play the song. And do not forget to pick up the wooden shield. So there's something very interesting in this game. In this game you cannot stop the in-game time. Not even if you pause the game. The in-game time will continue even on cutscenes. So that's the main reason on the runs that I make with cutscenes, the game time was like more than 2 hours or almost 2 hours, just because the cutscene. It's pretty unfortunate, to be honest, that this game works like that. Because most of Resident Evil games, cutscenes doesn't count as in-game time, at least on the remakes. But anyway, that's the piano puzzle, and we can use the golden shield. Golden shield, excuse me. And for this puzzle, it's always the same. So there are plenty of puzzles on Resident Evil 1 Remake that are the same. There are some others that are random. This one you always have to move the large gear to the left 2 times and then leave the puzzle. So, for Yawn, there are only 2 things you have to do. In the cutscene, start moving your left stick up. So Chris will quick turn and will go directly to the mask. So you pick up the mask and then you move your left stick to the left. Chris will always slide on Yawn's tail, sorry. And you're good to go. It's not so hard, to be honest. You just have to move correctly. And never forget that there's a zombie behind that pillar. So for this zombie, let him grab you. That's the best thing you can do, because he can use a dagger. Because most of the time he's like far right on that hallway, but he can be in the middle or far left. And try to evade him just by memory. It's not a good idea, because he can grab you in your back sometimes. Because you cannot watch him, right? You cannot see him. Now you can leave. Remember, there's a zombie right here, so just hack the right wall. You will always avoid his 180-degree grab. So you can avoid this part if you don't want to pick up the Magnum. But I'm pretty sure not picking up the Magnum with Chris is not a good idea. It's pretty helpful, and it's the strongest weapon you will have with Chris, alongside with the assault shotgun. So Chris in the cutscene throws the wasp to the floor, so that gives you like 1 more second to leave the room. Unlike with Jill you have to do it faster. With Chris you have a little more time. But do not fuck around anyway, just pick up the moon crest and leap. And thankfully on the other room there's a small key. Will be pretty handy, and this is the last small key we'll pick up in the whole game. It's not necessary to pick up more. So, the main reason I saved 2 shotgun shells, and I also saved the 6 shotgun shells that are on the cemetery, is because I will use a very safe strat with the Crimson Head. But you have to keep in mind this. The shotgun deals damage, or deals more damage, when you are close to the enemy. So the closer you are to the enemy, the more damage you will deal. And the far away you are from the enemy, the less damage you will deal. So because I will just start the fight like in the start position after the cutscene, I will be kinda far away from the Crimson Head. And there's a possibility I won't inflict full damage, so it will take you between 5 or 8 shotgun shells to kill this Crimson Head. And if you are like very you don't have a good luck, you are very unlucky, you will take a 9. But that will only happen if you perma-stun the Crimson Head on the same place of his position start. But as long as you do it correctly, and as I will tell you, it should be fine, it shouldn't be a problem. This strat is 100% consistent, and I find out just by playing Invisible Enemy mode. Because on Real Survivor and on hard difficulty I do some other strats that are risky to perform on Invisible Enemy, to be honest. Because the only thing you can watch from the Elder Crimson Head is his breathing, because he throws like steam from his mouth. So the cutscene, you regain control of Chris, you enter to your menu, you keep the shotgun, but you reload it first. Quick turn and aim a little to the left, and then keep shooting while you pump cancel, until you hear that the Crimson Head fall down. So right there, that was very risky, because I didn't pump cancel correctly after the second shot, and the Crimson Head was very close to me, but fortunately he was staggered, so I was able to just shoot him normally. And also was a very good fight, to be honest. A very lucky fight. It wasn't good, man. It wasn't pretty bad. The main goal is to just keep shooting him while you pump cancel, and most of the time he will fall down, and then you have to wait until he stand up again and then continue. On the same place, do not move at all. And of course the sound cues are your best friend, because he make a very particular sound when he fall down and also when he's standing up. Try to be fast right here, shoot the zombie in the leg and continue, because there's a zombie at the right that can grab you on your back. Also here, try to be fast, because there's a zombie that can bite in your ass. That rims, man. Anyway. There's a hand grenade right here. Do not pick up the shotgun shells right now, it's not necessary. And also do not reload the shotgun is not useful anymore. The combination right here, the red one has to go to the W and the blue one to the N. So west and north. So for the crowds, the ravens, just run until you are about to pass through the middle. When you are in the middle of them, walk, and just by doing that you will never aggro them. It's possible to run the whole section if you wonder, but it's very risky, because if you don't take a very particular line when you are running, they will immediately aggro, and because they can fly, they will like 99% of the time immediately attack you or inflict the damage. So I didn't mention what's the pump cancel. So the pump cancel is basically a cancellation of the animation of the recoil of certain weapons. To be exact, it works with the shotgun, the grenade launcher, both shotguns by the way, and the rocket launcher, but the rocket launcher doesn't matter because it's an infinite weapon. It's very hard to explain how to perform it just by saying it. So that's the reason in all my Resident Evil 1 remake videos, I leave in the description below a tutorial on how to pump cancel. And on that video I will show you the inputs I make. So it will be a better way to teach you how to perform the pump cancel. It's not really complicated. It takes practice, of course, and you don't have to confuse the pump cancel with the quick shot, because they are completely different strats, and also they work with different weapons. So right here we will encounter the second enemy of this game. The the second new enemy on the remake, Lisa. Also on the remake there are plenty of cutscenes that you cannot skip. This is one of them. So after the cutscene, when you regain control of Chris, equip the Magnum, aim and shoot one time, then unequip the Magnum and run straight. Because Chris has less recoil and run faster, Lisa will never try to attack you. With Jill there's a possibility she will try to attack you because Jill is a little slower. Right here there's a zombie and it's the same way, just go around the trees, you should be fine. Doesn't matter what RNG the zombie gives you. You cannot see the zombie anyway, so you cannot see the weird RNGs. But now that I think about it, maybe you can see the RNG of the vomit, if maybe he vomits. So that's another thing about zombies. So the zombies will always vomit when there's a elevation on the place where they stand up. So that's why they always vomit when they are on the stairs, because it's an elevation of the floor or of the place of the game that they are standing up. There are some places on this game that has some kind of elevation and are not stairs. But anyway, before that, after a cutscene, equip the Magnum, aim and shoot, then go backwards until the wall doesn't let you go backwards anymore. And when the dogs appear on the camera, shoot them. Maybe you see it, but you can see like the saliva on their teeth or their jaws. That's what you have to see and then shoot. So as I was telling you, there are some places in this game that are not stairs but has some kind of elevation. And on those places, on those particular places, the zombies will vomit instead of grabbing. On other game modes that are not invisible enemy, you will notice that when they lower their hands, that means they won't grab you and they will vomit. But there's not a lot of places like that with that kind of elevation that are not stairs, of course. It's just like, I think 3 or 2? It's not so many. Right here I like to hack this wall because I don't want to aggro the crows. So I try to make like a very perfect curve on that corner. There's the snakes right here, as long as you continue running, they shouldn't bite you. So for the guest house, the only weapon you need is the handgun. Just save everything else. So this section used to be called the guard house on the classic. For some reason on the remake it's called the guest house. For the spider's room, as long as you are fast enough and you enter and leave the room as fast as you can, you should be fine. You shouldn't have to be worried about weird RNG with the spiders. Or with this spider, to be exact, that it's like maybe it's in the door, maybe it's right when you're going around the corner. So the first bathroom, just pick up the 003 key and then wait for the zombie until he enters. And then go backwards and let him fully enter to the bathroom. And then let him grab you. And just leave. So there are two main reasons you have to wait until he fully enters. The first one is because he has iframes when he is entering the room. So you cannot deal him damage like right when he's entering. And the second and the most important one is that you have to wait until the door fully closes before you can use it. Because the game won't let you use the the door when it's on the animation of closing it. Right here, pick up the self-defense gun and go to the bathroom. So for some reason with Chris, the zombie that is hanging up on the ceiling will never fall down. I don't know why it's like that. So the order you pick up the items on this section, it's not really important. Not the whole section, just on that room and the bathroom. But with Jill it's very important if you wonder. With Jill you have to pick up first the self-defense gun and then the curtain room, otherwise the zombie that is hanging on the ceiling will fall down and won't let you go to the self-defense gun. So there's a little trick right here that works at 120 FPS. And it let you immediately push the second library. It only works on 120 FPS, and that leads me to the main difference of this game between 60 FPS and 120 FPS. So at 120 FPS the AI behaves consistently. By saying that, I mean that they will always do the same things. They won't be random. At 60 FPS they are more random. It's not like a really big difference, but there are some main differences that you will feel. Also at 120 FPS you can perform the stair skating faster, you can perform the quick shot and the pump cancel way simpler. The in-game time it's also more accurate. So that's the main reason speedrunners, or those little things are the main reasons speedrunners play this game at 120 FPS instead of 60 FPS. So my recommendation is that if your PC can handle 120 FPS of this game, just play it. It's the best way to play this game, to be honest. But anyway, the sharks. After the cutscene, equip the self-defense gun and aim to the right and shoot. And then equip the handgun and just aim to the same spot and start shooting. I aim a little more to the right because I wasn't a little to the left for the self-defense gun. And then you have to leave the room when you kill the shark. The shark will make a very particular sound when he's dead. It's like shaking in the water. And then you reset the room because that will de-aggro Neptune. But now that I think about it, I think it's very consistent to just run without killing the sharks, excuse me. Because it creases faster. But I'm not 100% sure if it's like 100% consistent to just run. With Jill it's not, because sometimes the sharks will bite you. But Chris is faster, so maybe it's more consistent. So in this puzzle there are one part of the puzzle that is random, and it's a part that you have to choose between number 1, 2 or 3. If you want to know the exact number, you can read the documents or the planes that are on the left of the ladder. But I like to try my luck and just try between number 1, 2 or 3. And then everything else is always the same. Never change. There are magnum rounds right here, and the assault shotgun it's right here from Richard. So maybe if you wonder, it's possible to use the B-Jolt with Chris. Rebecca will use it. But you have to do something, you have to let Richard die in the mansion. But by doing that, Rebecca will make the B-Jolt, but you won't be able to retrieve the assault shotgun from Richard. And to be honest, the Assault Shotgun, it's a really good weapon for Chris. So it's a waste to do that. Because the Beetle will only make one phase of the fight, and you will also have to fight with the Plant 42 anyway with Chris. So it's not really worth it. It's more worth it to pick up the Assault Shotgun instead of making the Beetle. I even was trying to make the Beetle for this ending, because I was getting hit by the Plant 42 a lot of times. It's beatable, but it makes things harder after the Plant 42, because you will only have the normal shotgun, and even Yawn fight will be a little different and maybe a little harder. I didn't fully test like the whole game with just that shotgun. But anyway, before we go to the gallery, we will go to the save room and make some item management. We need the Magnum to be exact. But we will just make it the fully item management, so we don't have to visit that save room again before we leave the mansion. I'm sorry, before we leave the guest house. So save the handgun and the self-defense gun and pick up the Magnum and the shotgun shells. And of course reload your Magnum, sorry. Right here, the wasp can sting you if it takes you too much time to go pick up the insecticide and leap. So do not fuck around. Just pick it up and leap. So Plant 42 fight, it's about, and even more on invisible enemy, it's about sound cues. Plant 42 makes two sounds. It makes one sound when it's about to attack you with its tentacle, and it's make another sound when opens its core, and the same sound when closes its core. That can trick you a lot of times. It tricked me a lot of times as well. Because if you are not focused enough for the sound cues, maybe you will think that the core is open, but maybe it's closing. And you will just waste ammo because of that. But once you learn those two sound cues, and you learn the boss fight, you should be fine. But not gonna lie to you, on Invisible Enemy it's way harder because you cannot see anything about the Plant 42 except the acid. So a lot of times the tentacle will hit you if you don't time it correctly. Because on hard difficulty and Real Survivor you were able to watch the tentacle, and you can help yourself with the image as well. So the cutscene ends, go to the stairs on the left, staircase up, and stand up right in this corner and wait for the sound cues. Yeah, I hear the sound cue when it opens its core, so I shoot 3 times, that's the phase 1 of the Plant 42, and then just wait for the sound cues again. Or you can try and shoot 2 times, but the core was closing, so that's why I wasn't able to just kill him on one phase. The Plant 42 will always attack after it throws acids, so that's why I go to the left and then come back. I hear again the sound when the core is opening, so I shoot with the shotgun. Do not waste more than 5 magnum bullets on this fight, because those 3 magnum bullets will be very helpful later in the game. And also I knew that the Plant 42 was really low HP, so I just terminated with the shotgun. Maybe it looks simple, but it's not. It requires a lot of practice. So for the doggos, equip the magnum, aim to the left, shoot, and just continue aiming on the same spot. When you saw the jaw or the teeth or the saliva from the second dog, you shoot, but you have to wait until it appears in the camera. Do not shoot before that, because maybe you will miss the shot, and you will just waste one magnum bullet. Right here, run, go to the left, and stand up right in this corner. Equip the shotgun, aim and shoot. Then get close to the right, go back, aim down and shoot. And then repeat again until you hear that little sound for the fourth snake that jumps. Right there I wasn't, or I didn't perform it correctly, the strat, because I was supposed to kill the second and the third snake, but I only killed one. I don't know if it was the second or third one. I think it was the third one. So it was a little risky because of that. Pick up the dagger just in case. It's always handy to have daggers. And the shotgun shells. So because this is best ending, I will use the strat that I use on Real Survivor. After the first hunter appearance, just go to the art room. Oh no, never mind, I won't use it. Nice. So get close to this wall, rotate and equip the magnum, aim and shoot immediately. Because there's a hunter in your face. And then shoot with the shotgun just in case the hunter didn't die. But he's dead. And for the second one, just wait until he lands and shoot him 2 or 3 times while you pump cancel and you will kill him. If you have one magnum bullet left, just use the magnum bullet for the second hunter as well. The first one is the most dangerous one, because it's possible that it will immediately attack you if you are not fast enough. And then just leave the magnum on the item box and continue. So from the hunters you can also watch some little things like... I'm not really sure if it's like some part of his mouth or maybe their claws. But there's something very particular you can watch from the hunters. They are not completely invisible. So right here there are 3 spiders. The first and second one shouldn't be a problem, the third one can be a problem if you don't get close to the left wall. Because the third one can body block you, maybe it will attack you because of that. Right here there are 2 zombies, I like to kill this first one when I reach the camera change, and also this one. Be careful on this section because it has some kind of elevation on the entrance. Right here, and if you let that zombie arrive there, the zombie won't grab you, he will vomit you. So that's why I like to kill them very fast. For this one, just shoot him in the leg. It's not necessary to shoot him in the head. I just do it because I have plenty of ammunition, and it's not like I will need a lot. So run to the wall and then start walking on the camera change, because by doing that the zombie will always go to the right, like far right, and you will be fine just by going far left. The main goal right there is to not enter to the camera change running, enter to the camera change walking like I did. Just run until you arrive to the wall. And then pick up everything and continue. Right here there's a crimson head, so just go directly to the door. And right here there's a hunter on the right. But if you never change the camera, the hunter will never aggro. Before we pick up the both gems, we need to make some item management. So save the magnum rounds, save the red book, then go upstairs for the red and yellow gem. So this puzzle works like this. The eagle that is on the right on that wall, it will track your movement. And if the eagle is facing the gem, you are not able to pick it up. So what you have to do is force the eagle to go to one gem and then go below the eagle, because the eagle won't be able to track your movement when you are below it. And then just go to the other gem and repeat. So before we continue, we will visit the item box one more time. Just save the red gem and pick up the bulb. Sorry, the crank is not a bulb. I always save a bulb, man. I don't know what happened with me. I always confuse the bulb with the crank. So right there, I think I don't have enough space. So you can leave the shotgun shells. I just pick it up just in case. Maybe we'll fuck up the Yawn fight and I won't be able to kill him with just 8 shotgun shells. So just in case, I pick up the shotgun shells. But if you don't want to visit an item box again before you leave the mansion, you can leave the shotgun shells and pick up the battery. Because a perfect fight with Yawn will always take you 8 shotgun shells, not more. Hack this wall in order to avoid the zombie that it's far right on this hallway. So, Yawn fight. Equip the shotgun before you arrive to the cutscene, because there's a little cutscene right here, this one. When you regain control, freeze, aim and shoot 3 times. Then go back to this corner and aim and shoot 2 times. Then go down the ladder and run until you arrive to the camera change and stop and aim and shoot 3 times. So there are 2 main important things in this fight to do it correctly. The first one is after the feared shotgun shell, when you have to go back around and to the corner and then aim and shoot the 4th and 5th shotgun shells. So, sorry. It's kind of hard to aim correctly, because you have to make a perfect quick turn after you go after you arrive to the corner, because you have to do it fast, otherwise Yawn will attack you. It even looked like I has auto aim, but I don't have I don't have auto aim. I just do it very fast. And the second main important thing is that when you go down the ladder, you have to stop right on the camera change, not keep running, otherwise you won't be able to shoot 3 times. Because it's possible that Yawn will attack you after the second shotgun shell. Those are the 2 main important things for that fight. But to be honest, I think the hardest one is to the 4th and 5th shot and shell, to do it correctly. To do correctly the quick turn. Because I do it with the left stick, of course. Because by doing manually is very slow, so that won't be helpful. So kill the zombie with the shotgun because we have enough shot and shells. But now that I think about it, I think it was worth to bring the battery because I will reload the shotgun anyway, so I will have one item slot free. Yeah, I just completely forget, I think, about that. I reset a lot of times on this run, and I think this run was the one that take me more time to do it. Making invisible enemy no damage, very stressful, to be honest. So you can kill this hunter if you want. I never kill him, because the way to avoid him is very consistent. But first I have to go to the item box and pick up the battery. So I will save the ammo disc and pick up the battery, and I think I will pick up the red gem. Nah, never mind, I won't pick it up. There's an item box on the mines anyway, so it's not like you have to be worried about your inventory so much like in Real Survivor. So just run straight and then go directly to the door. You will always avoid the hunter just by doing that. Because for some reason Resident Evil 1 Remake, the hunters always scream before they attack. And that's a perfect window of time that you have to avoid them or to dodge them. Right here, remember we didn't kill two dangerous snakes. So when Chris is going up the ladders, it's an animation. So you can queue up an action. What I queue up is the left stick to the left. So Chris will immediately move to the left when he end up going up the ladder. And just by doing that, you will always avoid the snakes. And then the other ones, as long as you keep running, should be fine. That's the last time we have to encounter with the snakes, fortunately. Believe it or not, the snakes will be one of the sections that will kill more of your runs. It's pretty annoying. It looks simple, but it's not. So, the mines. So on the mines, I will just kill the Black Tiger. I will avoid everything else. I never recommended to kill the hunters on this section, but maybe in hard difficulty in Real Survivor it's viable. An invisible enemy, it's a suicide to try it. When you pick up the crank, 3 hunters will spawn. The first one will spawn right here. Just go around this corner, take a wide angle because the hunter is right on the corner. As you can see, he will always scream like an idiot before trying to attack you, so that's a perfect window time. And the second and third hunter, it's here, or are here, sorry. Just hug this wall and go around the corner while you hug the wall. You will always avoid the jump from the second hunter. And sometimes that hunter won't jump or will only attack. Or maybe will never appear. It's very consistent that way, to be honest. And it's less scarier on invisible enemy because you cannot watch the hunters. I never got hit on that section, to be honest. As long as you hack the wall and go around the corner while you hack the wall, you should be fine with those hunters. Because the worst thing that can happen to you is that you get stuck on the body from the first hunter that it's in the middle. That's like the worst case scenario. So right there, it's very important you pick up the flamethrower before you make all of this. Because if you try to pick up the flamethrower after the Black Tiger fight, there will be one hunter right there. So enter to the fight with the Magnum equipped. And on the cutscene, move your left stick to the left and a little to the down. So Chris will go to this place. If you hear the jump, you aim back and shoot 4 times. But that's the good RNG. The bad RNG is that the spider won't jump. And it's the same strat. But instead of aim back, you have to aim on the same place, like in front of Chris. Because for some reason the Black Tiger after the speed acid won't do anything aggressive for like 2 seconds, and that's more than enough time to shoot 4 times. I find out that strat on Real Survivor because I was like struggling a lot, even more with Jill than with Chris. So on the good RNG, the Black Tiger will jump, and on the bad RNG, the Black Tiger will stay on the same place and will throw acid or will hold the acid. On both cases, it's the same. As I explained before, for some reason the Black Tiger doesn't do anything after throwing the acid. It's 100% consistent as well, to be honest. So I like to push this statue 4 times and then use the crank. And then just push the statue to the rotation platform on the floor. Like 1, 2 times I think, or 3 times. But anyway, it's not like there's only one way to do this puzzle. You can do it however you want. So there's a hunter outside the Black Tiger stage, but he will always scream before trying to tag you, so as long as you continue running, should be fine. The hunter is right there, right after the right after the flamethrower position, in his initial position. So it's not necessary to make it management. I was just wondering, I think. Last time we have to dodge this hunter, just hack this wall and make the cube while you hack the wall. And it's 100% consistent. The worst thing that can happen, as I told you before, is that you can get stuck on the body of the hunter that is in the middle of the hallway. or of that particular section, because it's not a hallway. And in order to avoid that, you always have to hack the wall. So that's why you have to make the curve while you hack the wall. The combination for this puzzle is 4, 2, 3, 1. It's always the same. So I think I didn't mention, but on this game, cutscene counts as in-game time. So the in-game time at the end of the game, on the game summary, it will count on if you let the cutscenes roll. And also it counts the animation of the doors. That's why there's two separate categories on speedrun, with door skip and not door skip. So right here, go to the left, Lisa will spawn right there and you can continue. The first time you enter to this section is not... you don't have to take careful about something very particular that can happen. The second time, when you have the broken flame tower, you have to take care, or you have to take into account about something very particular that maybe can happen. But I will explain you that after we pick up the broken flame tower. So you just go down, Lisa will appear on the left and you're good to go. So the main goal on this whole section is to know where to spawn Lisa. And also know the whole section, because you can get lost very easily. That's why I like to call it Lisa's Labyrinth. And I also recommend you to use the D-pad instead of the left stick, because there's a lot of camera changes. And remember that the left stick works with the cameras if you are using alternate controls. That, in my opinion, is the best way to play this game. Alright, so this is the little thing you have to take into account. When you make Lisa appear on the left, just stay right there a little more time, because you want to lure Lisa, because Lisa on a very rare occasion will make an animation and will try to go immediately to the right when you make her appear on the left, and she can appear right here, and it's possible she can hit you because of that. So that's why I stay a little more time and I lure her just in case, because I cannot see if she's doing that rare animation. So just in case, why not? By the way, there are 3 or 4 snakes on that section, on the water. It looks like there are only 2, but there are 4. And yeah, we're back on Lisa's house. I think it's Lisa's house. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but I think it is it. So the zombie is still on the forest, and it's always the same way. Just go around the trees, you should be fine. Now, instead of crows, there are 2 zombies on this section, on the cemetery. Just run straight. I think I go a little to the right because I was afraid, but it's okay, just run straight. The zombie will never grab you. Right here, don't forget to pick up the emblem. Oh my god, I'm gonna forget it, really? Oh Jesus. Anyway, the hunter is around the corner on the right. So in order to reset his position, just go to the art room and then re-enter. Right here I figured it out, I forget the emblem I think. And the hunter is now in front of you. And it's the same way as always to avoid him, just run straight and then go directly to the door. He will always miss the slash, because he screams before trying to slash you. And in the time that he's slashing, you are already behind him. But you have to repeat again this, because the hunter is again around the corner on the right. But I also forget that I have to go to the Spencer's office. Oh my god, man, I don't know where I have my mind on this part. Maybe I was so nervous to get the run because I was like losing the runs very early on the game, all the time. That I think I will remind right now, or remember. Yeah, I already remember. It's very funny, man. It's very interesting how, or at least it happens to me, and I also was talking about this with some other no damage runners, that on the runs that are the run, that you get the run, are the runs that you have the more memes, and on the runs that are like almost perfect, you got dumb robberies or hits. It's very interesting. But anyway, on Spencer's office there are three things. There are shotgun shells, the emblem, and also there's a hand grenade. Because this is the best ending, we need to save Rebecca, so we have to go to the other room. But before, we need some weapons. We need the shotgun. So just go to the save room and pick up the shotgun. So there are two ways to kill the hunter. You can kill him with the shotgun, but you have to pump cancel. Or you can kill him with the magnum. Of course, with the magnum it's a lot easier, because you don't have to pump cancel. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use the magnum for the hunter. And the zombies are still in this hallway, but you only have to worry about this one. Just kill him. Do not try to disable him, because one time he trolled me and he grabbed me immediately when he was falling down because he body blocked me. But anyway, after the cutscene, oh, I'm gonna kill him with the shotgun, let's go, man. So as you can see, just shoot him 3 times, and I even fucked up the feared pump cancel. But he was dead anyway.
Chris!
You okay?
I didn't mean to get you worried.
We can't stay here any longer. We have to get to the others and find a way out of here. You with me?
Yes.
Then I'll go ahead. Until then, Rebecca, you're on your own. Stay cool and use your better judgment. Got it?
I can handle myself.
Good luck.
But now that I think better about it, I didn't use the magnum because I need 1 magnum round for the Chimera in the laboratory. Because the hunter will never, or almost 90% of the time, will take you 2 magnum rounds, not just 1. So I think that's the main reason I use the shotgun instead of the magnum. So stairs skate up and we go back to the main hall, and we can encounter Lisa's fight. So as always, for Lisa, the best weapon you can have is the magnum, because with the magnum you will always stagger Lisa with just 1 bullet. With the shotgun will take you between 2 or 3 or even 4 shotgun shells to stagger her. But because this is invisible enemy, I will only try to push all the stones as fast as I can. Unless I have a really weird RNG and I have maybe to avoid her, or in the worst case scenario I will have to shoot her. But it's very consistent, this strat. Like the RNG starts before you finish pushing the first stone. You will see it right now. So right here, pick up both books, pick up the canteen, and also the ammo disc, unless you have shotgun shells. But I don't have, so I just pick up the ammo disc. And I think Wesker nailed it on this fight, if I'm not remember wrong. So, fight starts, go directly to the first stone, bottom left, start pushing it. This is free. Then get close to the top and go to the right one. And right here starts the RNG. Lisa jump in front of Wesker. But she screams, and screams it counts as an stagger because she cannot do anything when she's screaming. And she throws Wesker. That's completely fine. Because for some reason Wesker is still alive, so he will appear on the laboratory. Don't worry about it. It's not like with Jill that you have to take care of Barry, because if Lisa throws Barry, you are not able to fight the Tyrant on the heliport because Barry's dead. But with Chris that doesn't happen. Wesker can fall down and it's completely fine. To be honest, that's the best RNG you can have, that Lisa aggro Wesker. Or Wesker aggro Lisa, excuse me. Because maybe you saw it, but I was able to push the 4 stones free. But anyway, there are some little things you have to take into account for Lisa's fight. The first one is that when Lisa jump, she cannot immediately attack when she's landing or on the animation of landing. So that's a perfect window of time that you have to go around her. Also, when you stagger Lisa by shooting her, or when she screams, or maybe Wesker stagger her because Wesker will shoot her, that's also the perfect window of time that you can pass around her. Wesker can see Lisa, so you can have an idea where is Lisa by the aiming of Wesker, and also by the blood. I did it very fast, so maybe you didn't even notice. It takes practice, but it's better if you practice on hard difficulty or on real survival, so you will learn more about Lisa's behavior and the things you can do in order to avoid her auto attacks and the stagger things that I told you. So right here, just kill the zombies is the best thing you can do, and also is the main reason we bring the canteen. Right there I didn't know where was the zombie, because that zombie is usually far right. And of course the first zombie was going upstairs, but because it take me a lot of time to kill the first one and the second one, he was already on the way. I'm waiting for the blood on the floor, and I will start incinerating bodies. Just remember where was the blood trails. And that's very interesting how it works when you change the camera, the blood disappears. I will go and refill the canteen with kerosene one more time, because I need to incinerate one more body, and maybe the body downstairs. So the zombie also... Oh, I think I'm gonna use the hand grenade. That's 500 IQ, man. Let's go. Yeah, that's the best thing you can do, because I have 4 hand grenades, man, and I didn't use any of them. And also you can save some ammo by doing that, so yeah, that's the best call, to be honest. So the login is Yawn, the password is Ada, and the second password is Cell, like on Dragon Ball Z. Open B2F and B3F, and you're good to go. So one more visit to the item box because we need to make some item management or some space in the inventory. You exactly need 4 item slots. 3 for the ammo discs and 1 for the laboratory key. The second and third ammo disc are on the laboratory, by the way. And they are like insanely close. It's ridiculous, man, because the second one is right on this table. And the third one is on this door, on the shell. Right in the shell. The code for the panel, it's 8462. Gives you access to the secret room. Wait, I fucked up. 8462. There we go. The laboratory key opens 2 doors on the laboratory. One gives you access to shotgun shells and also to the activation of the first ammo disc. And the second one gives you access to the continuation of the game. So what I like to do is open or use the key on both doors so I can discard it. So you just use it on this one, and then on this one you can discard the key and you have that item slot for these shotgun shells. So start pushing the shell 3 times and then pick up the shotgun shells and then enter for this ventilation. And then go to the one that is on Chris's left. And then just run straight and go directly to the ammo disc. There's a chimera on this whole section, and of course the chimera can go through the ventilations. But that will only happen if you take too much time. If you are fast enough, the chimera shouldn't be able to arrive. But right now don't go to the second ventilation, go to the first one. This one. And that will leave you close enough to the door and you are good to go. There are 2 zombies right here. One is behind you, but don't worry about the one that is behind you. Just kill this one. Because the one that is behind you will disappear after you activate the elevator. So it's not necessary to kill him. He's not a threat. So right here, run to the corner of this white arrow. Rotate, equip the magnum, aim and shoot. If you don't do it correctly, it's possible that you will miss the shot because you will aggro the chimera before you start shooting. And maybe the chimera will go to the ceiling. So if that happens, just reset the room until you do it correctly. And if by any chance you miss again on the second time you enter, just use the shotgun to kill the chimera. Just reset if you miss the shot. Do not try to keep shooting because it's very possible that the chimera will be very close to you and maybe will attack you. And that's the only chimera you need to kill. Or at least I like to kill. This is the last zombie you have to kill also. I think I will just use a hand grenade, yeah. So I will use the hand grenade and I leave the room and re-enter. And the zombie is already gone. You can activate the second ammo disc right here, and also you can refill the capsule with the nitroglycerin on this section. So because it's not a speedrun, it's not necessary to run 3 steps and walk 2 steps or something like that. That is the speedrun strat. Just walk. Because the nitroglycerin will explode and the percentage start going up depending what you do. Running and shooting are the 2 things that will increase the percentage the most. And also getting grabbed by an enemy. But we already cleaned everything that could be a threat, so nothing to be worried about. Right here you hear a zombie, but the zombie is on the left. Don't worry about him. And I also like how Chris walks very calm and Jill walks like very afraid. Chris is like on his house, man. He doesn't give a fuck. Zero fucks given. So Chimera section is only about running. There's not something very difficult like on the classic, like learning the behavior of the Chimeras when they try to attack. The only Chimera you have to be careful about is this one that is behind you, because it will go and activate the ammo disc, and then you have 3 choices. You can strap the Chimera, that is what I'm going to do. You can shoot the Chimera if you want, but I fucked up the strapping, and also you can just go around the Chimera, like immediately, without trying to go back. What I was trying to do is trying to go back, bait the auto attack, and after the Chimera auto attack I go around her. But for some reason I didn't trigger the auto attack. But it was cool anyway. As I told you, there are 3 options. You can even kill that Chimera if you want. And the other Chimeras, as you can see, it's only about running. Nothing very complicated. So on the save room there are shotgun shells, pretty handy for the fight. The exact amount of shotgun shells with the assault shotgun that you need to kill the Tyrant, or to stun the Tyrant on the laboratory, it's 7. But just in case, it's also good to bring more, because it's very possible that you will miss some shots.
Chris!
Rebecca!
Thankfully for this fight there's something that will help you a lot, and it's the reflection on the floor of the stage. You will be able to see the reflection of the Tyrant. But you will see it right now.
Wesker.
So the fight starts, quick turn, and then go right to this place and start walking. Watch the floor. When the Tyrant appears behind you on the floor, just run to the wall, quick turn, equip the shotgun, aim and shoot 2 or 3 times. But not 4. 4 is being greedy and the Tyrant will be very close to you and it's possible he will hit you. Right here also you can watch the reflection of the Tyrant on the floor. Try to walk and not run the whole time, because if you run the whole time and just go to the first place that we start the fight, it's possible that the Tyrant will quick turn as well and will appear in front of you. So just repeat, the Tyrant appear behind you with the reflection on the floor, shoot him 2 or 3 times, and they just take distance between you and the Tyrant and keep shooting. And the Tyrant is done. This Tyrant cannot run, he will always walk, but he has like a very nasty range with his auto attack, so if you let him get close to you, he will attack you, man, and it's almost impossible to avoid that.
Chris?
What is it?
I found a file in the lab. Apparently there's still a lot of Tyrant virus here. We should blow...
So right now we have to save Jill. So one Chimera can trigger right here, but I'm not really sure what you have to do in order to trigger this Chimera. I think you have to get close to the door, but I'm not really sure, to be honest. On Jill's jail there are some shotgun shells if you want. I think I won't pick them up, because for the Tyrant fight with the cheese, you only need 2 or 3 shotgun shells, max 3. And just in case you have the RNG. And the RNG is like the worst thing that can happen to you and the invisible enemy. Just traumas came to my mind right now, man. It's just disgusting. We already take care about the zombies that can become Crimson Head, so nothing to be worried about, to be honest, right now. So, the Tyrant fight. It's not impossible to fight the Tyrant, an invisible enemy, just by using the flare instantly. Speedrunners do that, of course. But because it's not that much run, it's the best way to do it is just make the cheese. The cheese, you have to perform it when the timer it's on 45-second mark. And you will have two RNGs, the good and the bad one. The good one is when the Tyrant will hit Rebecca instead of grabbing her. And because he will hit her, that will give you enough time to Brad to just throw you the rocket launcher, and you will be able to pick it up and then just aim and shoot, and the Tyrant is done. And the bad RNG is that the Tyrant will grab Rebecca and you have to shoot the Tyrant 2 or 3 times. The Tyrant will throw Rebecca, but then you have to dodge one invisible Tyrant charge. And it's dude, it's so fucking hard, man. It's just not doable, man, because there's nothing that can help you to know when the Tyrant is charging or not. Maybe you think you can time it correctly, but sometimes the Tyrant like start walking before trying to charge, and sometimes instantly charge, and you cannot see that because it's invisible. And there's no reflection or anything that can help you on this stage, unfortunately. So it's like basically game over if you have the bad RNG. I lost a run. I arrived to this particular section and the Tyrant gave me the bad RNG, and I just lost the run because I wasn't able to avoid an invisible charge. So it's just like not consistent, because I'm pretty sure that it's possible. I won't even explain you how to fight the Tyrant, because this is invisible enemy, so it's not worth to explain that. I already explained that on hard difficulty and on real survivor. But anyway, we are just about to get to the 45-second mark, so 45, use the flare, and also keep the shotgun, just in case. Skip the cutscenes and pray for God. And thankfully, I got the good RNG. So as you can see, just go to this exact position and just wait, because Rebecca will keep shooting the Tyrant, and that will aggro the Tyrant to Rebecca, and the Tyrant will never charge to Rebecca. So you have to watch the blood trail. You watch the blood trail and you aim for that specific section. I missed one rocket, but the second one I didn't. So it's GG. So this was Resident Evil HD Remaster without saving and without taking any damage, getting the best ending, and my controller disconnected on that part. Getting the best ending with Chris Redfield on invisible enemy mode and also on hard difficulty. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you like, hope you enjoy, hope you learn if you are trying to make a similar run, or maybe you want the achievement of invisible enemy. It will also help you. But yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ares, and I see you next time. And yeah, I was fucking choking with my saliva on the Tyrant fight when I was explaining. Goodbye guys, take care. Thank you so much for watching.
Chris, you did a fine job.